Hey, what's up you guys? Josh here with the MC Recon channel, and today we're going to be installing this chin mount onto our helmet so that we can have a better angle for a GoPro whenever we're doing videos while we're riding. So this is from Chinmounts.com, and what you do is you go into their website, you enter the information for your particular helmet, the brand and the model, and they actually 3D print these GoPro mounts so that it fits perfectly right where the chin section is of your helmet. So let me go ahead and move the camera and we'll get started. So let's open this up and see exactly what we get. This is a tether that you can install onto your helmet and attach to your GoPro if for whatever reason this becomes unstuck and the GoPro falls off of the mount. Then we have an alcohol prep wipe so we can wipe this down, and then we have the mount itself. So you can see when they 3D print this, it's shaped in such a way that it should line up perfectly with your particular helmet. So in this case, this bottom section that goes inwards is going to follow perfectly that form of the helmet. Make sure you're really taking your time to check, because this, while it looks like it's pretty close to lining up, it's not quite. We want to flip that around and mount it like that. So in order to prep this, we do want to clean this off with the alcohol wipe, and then we want to get a heat gun and actually heat up this sticky material before we actually stick it to the helmet, and that's really going to allow that stick to be semi-permanent. This is the heat gun that I'm going to be using. Bought this from Amazon, but you can use any heat gun or even a hair dryer. And if you want, you can put some gloves on to be extra sure that you're not going to get any oils from your hands onto the helmet. So this next part is going to be just slightly off camera because I want to really get in front of the helmet, make sure that I'm lining this up perfectly, but I'll show you guys the end result here in a second. Alright, so as you can see here, I've lined this up and pushing down on it, squeezing from the inside of the helmet as well, and holding it for about 10 to 20 seconds. Alright, so there we have it. One thing about these mounts is when you mount this, you're going to be really eager to go and try it out right away, but you really need to wait 24 hours before you use this for the first time. Now here's some good mounting options. You know, if you have a GoPro and a GoPro mount like this, you can adjust exactly where this is pointing. So it's got a pivot ball here, and you can turn it this way or that way, up or down. But if you have, you know, a mount like this where it's right in the middle, you may actually want something like this. The mounting point for the camera isn't all the way against the bottom of the mount. It actually sticks up some. And that way, whenever you go to mount this up and you put your camera in, like so, I'll just loosely put it on here for now. When that's mounted up, you can start your recording and then turn that all the way up like this. And that should be really, really flush. And then this mount in particular has this little rubber piece to help keep it in place and stop some vibration. We're going to wait 24 hours, let this fully set up, and then I'll show you what that looks like with the GoPro mounted. A couple of quick things I want to point out to you guys. If you're anything like me, you're probably a little bit of a perfectionist and you really want things to line up properly. Keep in mind that a lot of these good helmets like this are handmade, so even if it was machine made, it's not going to be exactly perfect. It's not going to be a perfect oval around this opening. You know, these are 3D printed, so that helps. But again, these aren't going to be perfect. And then once you get your GoPro mounted up anyways, a lot of these GoPros have the cameras offset slightly to one side. So even if you don't get this perfectly lined up in the middle, the overall product, the result, is going to end up being the same. So, all right, let me go ahead and let this sit. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, so just a really quick update for you guys. Because of the way that this latches on, and I'll show that here for you. So, because of the way that this clicks in, and it's a little bit hard to see, but it doesn't allow these tabs to open up as wide as it normally does on a normal GoPro mount. So this built-in rubber piece to help lock it in had to be cut down so that this can fit in its slightly closed position. And with it down like that, then it acts, you know, like it would in a normal mount. It's not as secure, but, you know, just want to give you a heads up that you will have to trim that down if you use the stock GoPro rubber mount like that. All right, so looking at this a little bit closer, this seems to be the problem. Regular GoPro mount, the length of it is a little bit shorter than the length of this 3D printed part. If this was just a little bit shorter on both sides, then the GoPro mount would click in all the way without any issues. Here's one that I haven't cut up yet. And as you can see here, I can clip this in. All the way. So that opens all the way up. I can push that down. There's no way that's coming back out. On this one, I'm not able to do that. You can see I can clip it in. It doesn't really snap like the other one does. There we go. That's all the way down, right? But see how closed that is? I'm not able to push that down without having to cut that. And with that not being down, that can push up pretty easily.